300 is the natural number following 299 and preceding 301. Mathematical properties. The number 300 is a triangular number and the sum of a pair of twin primes, as well as the sum of 10 consecutive primes. It is palindromic in 3 consecutive bases. 30,010 equals 6,067 equals 4,548 equals 3,639, and also in bases 13, 19, 24, 29, 49 and 59. Other fields. 300 is in bowling, a perfect score, achieved by rolling strikes in all 10 frames. The lowest possible fair Isaac credit score. In paintball, 300 feet per second is the maximum legal velocity of a shot paintball. In the Old Testament, 300 is the number ancient Israeli judge Gideon's followers victorious against the Midianites. According to Islamic tradition, 300 is the number of ancient Israeli King Thalat's soldiers victorious against Goliath's soldiers. According to Herodotus, 300 is the number of ancient Spartans resisting 1 million Persian invasion force during the Battle of Thermopylae. In Islamic history, 300 is the number of Muhammad's followers victorious in the Battle of Badr. 300 is the number of families followers of Jewish heretic Sabbatai Zevi forced to convert to Islam by the Ottoman Sultan and became the ancestors of Donma. 300 is the number of seats in the Hellenic Parliament. Integers from 301 to 399. 300's 301,301 equals 7 times 43. 301 is the sum of 3 consecutive primes, happy number in base 10a HTTP status code, indicating the content has been moved and the change is permanent. It is also the number of a debated Turkish penal code. 302,302 equals 2 times 151. 302 is a non-totient. 302 is the HTTP status code indicating the content has been moved. It is also the displacement in cubic inches of Ford's 5.0 V8 and the area code for the state of Delaware. 303,303 equals 3 times 101. 303 is the see other HTTP status code, indicating content can be found elsewhere. Model number of the Roland TB303 synthesizer, which is accredited as having been used to create the first acid house music tracks in the late 1980s. 304,304 equals 24 times 19. 304 is the sum of 6 consecutive primes, sum of 8 consecutive primes, primitive semi-perfect number, untouchable number. Non-totient. 304 is the HTTP code indicating the content has not been modified, and the record number of wickets taken in English cricket season by Tidge Freeman in 1928. 304 is also the name of a card game popular in Sri Lanka and southern India. 304 is also a slang term meaning ho, a meaning it acquired due to the popularity of lead of calculators and watches. It is also one of the telephone area codes for West Virginia. 305,305 equals 5 times 61. 305 is the HTTP status code indicating a proxy must be used. 306,306 equals 2 times 32 times 17. 306 is the sum of 4 consecutive primes, pronic number, Harshad number, and an untouchable number. It is also a telephone area code for the province of Saskatchewan, Canada. 307,307 is a prime number, Chen prime, and the HTTP status code for temporary redirect. 308,308 equals 22 times 7 times 11. 308 is a non-totient, sum of the first 31 integers, Harshad number, heptagonal pyramidal number, and the sum of 2 consecutive primes. 309,309 equals 3 times 103 3 tens. 310,310 equals 2 times 5 times 31. 310 is a sphenic number, non-cototient, and self number. 311,311, a prime number. See 311,312,312 equals 23 times 3 times 13. 312 is Harshad number and self number. 313,313, a prime number. See 313. 314,314 equals 2 times 157. 314 is a non-totient. 315,315 equals 32 times 5 times 7. 315 is a Harshad number. 316,316 equals 22 times 79. 316 is a centered triangular number and a centered heptagonal number. 317,317 is a prime number, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, Chen prime, and a strictly non-palindromic number. 317 is also shorthand for the LM317 adjustable regulator chip. It is also the area code for the Indianapolis region. 318,318 equals 2 times 3 times 53. It is a sphenic number, non-totient, and the sum of 12 consecutive primes. 319,319 equals 11 times 29. 319 is the sum of 3 consecutive primes. Smith number cannot be represented as the sum of fewer than 19 fourth powers. Happy number in base 10. 319 is a song by Prince. British Rail Class 319s are dual-voltage electric multiple-unit trains. 320s. 320,320 equals 26 times 5 equals times. 320 is a Leyland number, maximum determinant of a 10 by 10 matrix of zeros and ones, and a Harshad number, the largest of only two numbers which has an hexadecimal representation of its MD5 value that starts with the number itself. A popular bit rate. 321,321 equals 3 times 107, a Delanoy number. It is also an area code in Central Florida. 322,322 equals 2 times 7 times 23. 322 is a sphenic, non-totient, untouchable, Lucas number, and a Harshad number. It is also seen as a skull and bones reference of power. 323,323 equals 17 times 19. 323 is the sum of 9 consecutive primes, Motzkin number, self number, a Lucas and Fibonacci pseudo-prime. See 323,324,324 equals 22 times 34 equals 182. 324 is the sum of 4 consecutive primes, totient sum of the first 32 integers, untouchable number, and a Harshad number. 325,325 equals 52 times 13. 325 is a triangular number, hexagonal number, non-agonal number, centered non-agonal number. 325 is the smallest number to be the sum of two squares in 3 different ways. 12 plus 182, 62 plus 172 and 102 plus 152. 325 is also the smallest 3 hyperperfect number. 326,326 equals 2 times 163. 326 is a non-totient, non-cototient, and an untouchable number. 327,327 equals 3 times 109. 327 is a perfect totient number. 328,328 equals 23 times 41. 328 is the sum of the first 15 primes, and a refactorable number. 329,329 equals 7 times 47. 329 is the sum of 3 consecutive primes, and a highly cototient number. 330's 330,330 equals 2 times 3 times 5 times 11. 330 is sum of 6 consecutive primes, pentatope number, a pentagonal number, divisible by the number of primes below it, sparsely totient number, and a Harshad number. It is also the number of dimples on a British golf ball. 331,331 is a prime number, Cuban prime, sum of 5 consecutive primes, centered pentagonal number, centered hexagonal number, and Merton's function returns 0. 332,332 equals 22 times 83. Merton's function returns 0. 333,333 equals 32 times 37. Merton's function returns 0. Harshad number. Symbolically, 333 is used to represent Choronzon, a demon used in the philosophy of the lemma. 334,334 equals 2 times 167. Non-totient, self number. 334 was the long-time highest score for Australia in Test cricket. 334 is also the name of a science fiction novel by Thomas M. Disk. 335,335 equals 5 times 67, divisible by the number of primes below it. 336,336 equals 24 times 3 times 7. Harshad number, untouchable number, also the number of dimples on an American golf ball. 337,337, prime number, permutable prime with 373 and 733, Chen prime, star number. 338,338 equals 2 times 132, non-totient. 339,339 equals 3 times 113. 340's 340,340 equals 22 times 5 times 17. Sum of 8 consecutive primes, sum of 10 consecutive primes, sum of the first 4 powers of 4. Divisible by the number of primes below it, non-totient, non-cototient. 341,341 equals 11 times 31. Sum of 7 consecutive primes, octagonal number, centered cube number, super Poulet number. 341 is the smallest Fermat pseudo-prime. It is the least composite odd modulus m greater than the base b. That satisfies the Fermat property. Bm-1 is divisible by m for bases up to 128 of b equals 2, 15, 60, 63, 78, and 108. 342,342 equals 2 times 32 times 19. Pronic number, Harshad number, untouchable number. 343,343 equals 73. Nice Friedman number since 343 equals 3. It's the only known example of x2 plus x plus 1 equals y3. In this case, x equals 18, y equals 7. It is z in a triplet such that x5 plus y2 equals z3. The speed of sound in dry air at 20 degrees Celsius is 343 meters per second. 343 was the number of New York City Fire Department members that died in the events of September 11, 2001. 344,344 equals 23 times 43. Octahedral number, non-cototient, totient sum of the first 33 integers, refactorable number. 345,345 equals 3 times 5 times 23, sphenic number, self number. 346,346 equals 2 times 173. Smith number, non-cototient. 347,347 is a prime number, safe prime, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, Chen prime, Friedman number since 347 equals 73 plus 4, and a strictly non-palindromic number. It is the number of an area code in New York. 348,348 equals 22 times 3 times 29, sum of 4 consecutive primes, refactorable number. 349,349, prime number, sum of 3 consecutive primes, the number of seats in the Swedish parliament. 350's 350,350 equals 2 times 52 times 7, primitive semi-perfect number, divisible by the number of primes below it, non-totient. A truncated icosahedron of frequency 6 has 350 hexagonal faces and 12 pentagonal faces. 350.org is an international environmental organization. 350 is the number of cubic inches displaced in the most common form of the small block Chevrolet V8. The number of seats in the Congress of Deputies is 350. 351,351 equals 33 times 13, triangular number, sum of 5 consecutive primes, member of Padovan sequence, Harshad number. It is also the 351 Windsor engine from Ford Motor Company as well as the 351 in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. 352,352 equals 25 times 11, the number of n-Queen's problem solutions for n equals 9. The number of international appearances by Kristen Lilly for the USA women's national football team, an all-time record for the sport. 353,353 is a prime number, Chen prime, Proth prime, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, palindromic prime, and Merton's function returns 0. 353 is the base of the smallest fourth power, that is the sum of 4 other fourth powers, discovered by Norrie in 1911. 3,534 equals 304 plus 1204 plus 2,724 plus 3,154. 354,354 equals 2 times 3 times 59, sphenic number, non-totient, also SMTP code meaning start of male input. It is also sum of absolute value of the coefficients of Conway's polynomial. 355,355 equals 5 times 71, Smith number, Merton's function returns 0, divisible by the number of primes below it. The numerator of the best simplified rational approximation of pi having a denominator of 4 digits or fewer. This fraction is known as milieu. 356,356 equals 22 times 89. Merton's function returns 0. Self number. 357,357 equals 3 times 7 times 17. Sphenic number. 357 also refers to firearms or ammunition of 357 caliber, with the best known cartridge of that size being the 357 Magnum. The 357 SIG, whose name was inspired by the performance of the 357 Magnum, is actually a 9mm or 355 caliber. 358,358 equals 2 times 179, sum of 6 consecutive primes, Merton's function returns 0. 359,359 is a prime number, safe prime, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, Chen prime, and strictly non-palindromic number. 360's 360,360 has its own article. 361,361 equals 192, centered triangular number, centered octagonal number, centered decagonal number, member of the Mian-Chowla sequence, also the number of positions on a standard 19 by 19 Go board. 362,362 equals 2 times 181, Merton's function returns 0, non-totient, non-cototient. 363,363 equals 3 times 112, sum of 9 consecutive primes, Merton's function returns 0, perfect totient number. 364,364 equals 22 times 7 times 13, tetrahedral number, sum of 12 consecutive primes, Merton's function returns 0, non-totient, Harshad number. It is a reap digit in base 3, base 9, base 25, base 27, base 51 and base 90. The total number of gifts received in the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. 365,365 equals 5 times 73. It has its own article. 366,366 equals 2 times 3 times 61. Sphenic number. Merton's function returns 0. Non-cototient. Also, the number of days in a leap year, it is 26 gonal and 123 gonal. 367,367 is a prime number, Herat number, self number, happy number, and a strictly non-palindromic number. 368,368 equals 24 times 23. It is also a Leyland number. 369,369 equals 32 times 41. It is the magic constant of the 9 times 9 normal magic square and n-queens problem for n equals 9. There are 369 free polyaminos of order 8. With 370, a Ruth-Aaron pair with only distinct prime factors counted. 370's 370,370 equals 2 times 5 times 37, sphenic number, sum of 4 consecutive primes, non-totient. With 369 part of a Ruth-Aaron pair with only distinct prime factors counted. Harshad number, base 10 Armstrong number since 33 plus 73 plus 03 equals 370. System. 370 is a computing architecture from IBM. 371,371 equals 7 times 53. Sum of 3 consecutive primes, sum of 7 consecutive primes, sum of the primes from its least to its greatest prime factor. The next such composite number is 2,935,561,623,745. Armstrong number since 33 plus 73 plus 13 equals 371. 372,372 equals 22 times 3 times 31. Sum of 8 consecutive primes. Harshad number, non-cototient, untouchable number, refactorable number. 373,373, prime number, balanced prime, sum of 5 consecutive primes, permutable prime with 337 and 733, palindromic prime and 3 consecutive bases. 5,658 equals 4,549 equals 37,310 and also in base 4. 113,114, two-sided primes. 374,374 equals 2 times 11 times 17. Sphenic number, non-totient. 375,375 equals 3 times 53. Harshad number 376,376 equals 23 times 47. Pentagonal number, 1 automorphic number, non-totient, refactorable number. 377,377 equals 13 times 29. Fibonacci number, a Lucas and Fibonacci pseudo-prime, the sum of the squares of the first 6 primes. A common approximation for the impedance of free space in ohms. 378,378 equals 2 times 33 times 7. Triangular number, hexagonal number, Smith number, Harshad number, self number. 379,379 is a prime number, Chen prime, and a happy number in base 10. 380's 380,380 equals 22 times 5 times 19. Pronic number. 381,381 equals 3 times 127. Sum of the first 16 primes. Palindrome in base 2 and base 8. Represents the term, I love you, words, letters, meaning. 382,382 equals 2 times 191, sum of 10 consecutive primes, Smith number. 383,383, prime number, safe prime, Woodall prime, Thabit number, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, palindromic prime. 384,384 has its own article. 385,385 equals 5 times 7 times 11. Sphenic number, square pyramidal number, the number of integer partitions of 18. 386,386 equals 2 times 193. Non-totient, non-cototient, non-agonal number, centered heptagonal number. 386 is also shorthand for the Intel 80386 microprocessor chip. 386 generation refers to South Koreans, especially politicians, born in the 60s. 387,387 equals 32 times 43, also shorthand for the Intel 80387 math coprocessor chip to the 386. 388,388 equals 22 times 97,389,389. Prime number, Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part, Chen prime, highly cototient number, self number. Strictly non-palindromic number. Smallest conductor of a rank 2 elliptic curve. Also, 389 equals the displacement in cubic inches of the famous Pontiac GTO V8 engine of 1964–66. The port number for LDAP, and the name for the Fedora directory server project. 390's 390,390 equals 2 times 3 times 5 times 13, sum of 4 consecutive primes, non-totient, system. 390 is a computing architecture from IBM. 391,391 equals 17 times 23, Smith number, centered pentagonal number. 392,392 equals 23 times 72, Harshad number. 393,393 equals 3 times 131, Merton's function returns 0. 393 is the number of county equivalents in Canada. 394,394 equals 2 times 197, a Schroeder number, non-totient, non-cototient. 395,395 equals 5 times 79, sum of 3 consecutive primes, sum of 5 consecutive primes. 396,396 equals 22 times 32 times 11, sum of a twin prime, totient sum of the first 36 integers, refactorable number, Harshad number, digit reassembly number. 396 also refers to the displacement in cubic inches of early Chevrolet big block engines. 397,397, prime number, Cuban prime, centered hexagonal number. 398,398 equals 2 times 199, non-totient. 399,399 equals 3 times 7 times 19, sphenic number, smallest Lucas Carmichael number, Harshad number.